What if you could walk across a vast frozen plain 20,000 years ago and come face to face with a mammoth? Not in a museum, not in your imagination, but alive thundering across the icy ground, its woolly coat rippling in the wind, its massive tusks curving like ancient ivory scythes toward the sky. This wasn't fantasy, it was reality. The world once belonged to giants, enormous beasts that ruled continents during the last ice age. Creatures so powerful and strange, it's hard to believe they once coexisted with early humans. But they did. And then they vanished. Today, we dig through frozen soil and ancient tar to uncover their bones, to ask the question that echoes through time. What happened to the giants of the Ice Age? The Pleistocene epoch, which began roughly 2.6 million years ago, was a time of extremes. Earth's climate oscillated between glacial and interglacial periods. Towering glaciers covered much of the northern hemisphere, reshaping landscapes, carving valleys, and creating corridors of cold, dry terrain. But where the ice stopped, life flourished. It was in these regions, those sweeping tundras and endless steppelands, that megafauna evolved and thrived. The term megafauna refers to animals that weighed over 100 pounds. But during the Ice Age, some were far beyond that. In North America, woolly mammoths reached heights of 13 feet at the shoulder and weighed up to 10 tons. Their closest living relatives are elephants, but mammoths were uniquely adapted to the cold, with thick layers of fat, long shaggy hair, and compact ears that minimized heat loss. Their spiraled tusks, sometimes stretching over 15 feet, were used not just for defense, but to dig through snow for grass and to battle for dominance. And mammoths weren't alone. The saber-toothed cat, Smilodon fatalis, was built for close-range ambush. Unlike modern big cats, it had a muscular, compact frame and dagger-like canine teeth up to 7 inches long. These predators didn't chase. They pounced, striking with terrifying precision. Fossils from the La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles reveal a brutal food web, one that included dire wolves, giant short-faced bears, and scavengers like the massive Pterotorn, a bird with a wingspan over 12 feet. Further south, in what is now South America, Megatherium, the giant ground sloth, lumbered through forests. It weighed over 4 tons and stood over 20 feet tall when on its hind legs. Its long claws were used for stripping vegetation from trees, but also could be wielded for defense. Some ancient cave art even depicts humans encountering these beasts, suggesting they may have survived longer than once thought. Australia, isolated for millions of years, developed its own cast of megafaunal wonders. The Diprotodon, the largest known marsupial, looked like a bear-sized wombat and grazed in herds. It coexisted with enormous flightless birds like Genuinus and massive lizards like Megalania, a 20-foot monitor lizard that likely hunted early Aboriginal peoples. Even the oceans teemed with prehistoric giants. Steller's sea cow, a relative of the modern manatee, once grew up to 30 feet long and fed on kelp in the cold coastal waters of the Bering Sea. Unlike its Ice Age cousins, it survived into historical times until it was hunted to extinction by humans in the 18th century. These megafauna weren't just anomalies of scale. They played crucial roles in shaping ecosystems. Mammoths maintained grasslands by trampling trees and spreading seeds. Giant sloths helped distribute fruit-bearing plants. Their presence affected everything from plant diversity to soil health. But something changed, roughly 12,800 years ago. As the Earth emerged from the last glacial maximum, the giants began to vanish. One by one, species that had roamed for millions of years disappeared. The woolly rhinoceros, gone. The mammoth herds, silenced. The saber-toothed cats, extinct. In a geologic blink of an eye, over 70% of large mammal species in North America alone were gone. So what caused this extinction? Scientists point to two primary forces: climate change and human activity. As glaciers melted and temperatures rose rapidly at the end of the Ice Age, habitats transformed. Cold-adapted species like mammoths lost their icy homes. Grasslands turned into forests and wetlands. Food sources became scarce. Many megafauna struggled to adapt to these sudden environmental changes. At the same time, humans were expanding. In North America, the Clovis culture appeared hunters armed with finely crafted stone tools. Sites like the one at Blackwater Draw, New Mexico, show mammoth remains pierced with Clovis points. It's no coincidence that as humans spread across continents, megafauna numbers plummeted. This is the foundation of the overkill hypothesis, first proposed by paleoecologist Paul Martin. According to this theory, humans new to these ecosystems were super predators. Megafauna, unaccustomed to bipedal hunters with coordinated strategies, were easy targets. In some regions, extinction followed closely behind human arrival. In Australia, nearly 90% of megafauna vanished shortly after the arrival of humans over a thiel. Only ruby kiss has the luxurious texture that glides on mass. It was cupid, my lies, exciting. Expied lies, tepicide. Mere malide, malize. Mere lie, malize. Mere malide, mide, mass. Spy, my malize. I may say malai, you commit. Dewides, malide, proceed, belide, malai. We are excited, co-cred. It's on me mo sickly like ke kubi me cat and we I susit kai ga light sit sick cassette to suisa to hits to pick clit fist the foot with it as a sit it's 45,000 years ago. Similar patterns appeared in Madagascar and New Zealand. While climate change likely weakened populations, human hunting may have delivered the final blow, adding more mystery. Some researchers have proposed additional factors: outbreaks of disease, ecosystem collapse due to the loss of keystone species, or even a cosmic impact, such as a comet that may have triggered abrupt climate change during the younger Dryas period. But no single explanation tells the full story. What we do know is that the world changed forever. Only a few Ice Age giants lingered into modern times. A small population of mammoths survived on Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean until about 4,000 years ago, meaning they were still alive when the Great Pyramids were being built. But they, too, eventually vanished. Today, all that remains are bones, footprints, frozen carcasses, and cave paintings. But their legacy still shapes us. In the tundra, melting permafrost reveals entire mammoths, complete with soft tissue and fur, preserved for tens of thousands of years. Scientists are extracting DNA, mapping genomes, and even exploring the potential of de-extinction reviving mammoths using gene editing technology. It sounds like science fiction, but it's very real. Whether or not these efforts succeed, they show how deeply the story of megafauna still captivates us. Because their story is captivate, our story too. We walked alongside them. We watched them fall. And today, we live in the shadow of their loss. Their disappearance reminds us of the fragile balance that sustains life and the consequences when that balance is broken. So next time you see the tusk of a mammoth in a museum or the fossilized claw of a ground sloth, remember this: not so long ago, the world was theirs. We are not so far removed from the giants of the Ice Age. Their bones lie beneath our feet. Their blood flows faintly in our DNA, and their memory still stirs something deep within us. If this journey through Earth's frozen past awakened your sense of wonder, don't let it end here. Like, comment, and subscribe to Extinct World. Join us as we continue to uncover the breathtaking stories of ancient life, one forgotten fossil at a time. Because the past isn't dead. It's just buried, waiting to be discovered.